Bing.
All right. What's up, guys?
What's going on, gentlemen?
Bob, I know you had a couple words you wanted to speak on here. Open us up.
Yeah. I just want to say hi to my niece Kennedy and my nephews Peyton, Liam, and Elijah, and my other niece Delaney, even though she won't understand it because apparently they all listen. And so, we're filling the minds of the children with wonderful things.
No, we'll say hi, and it just means Rich has to behave.
Well, no, it doesn't. They just need to turn it off right now.
Now, look, we did a pretty good episode last week on some pretty high-end video game news, a lot of announcements, all sides, with Microsoft and Sony and Nintendo.
After we had those announcements, Sony announced that they're raising prices again on.
Microsoft did.
Oh no, Sony said do. I think everyone's raising prices again.
Get the fuck out.
Okay,
Yep.
So breaking news. We knew Microsoft was, and Microsoft,
Breaking
yeah.
news.
All right, so let's see. Sony price increase. Yeah. Oh, they raised in April. We know that.
I wish I could get the RAM out of my MacBook. I have 128 gigabytes of RAM in there. It's probably worth like $10,000 now.
Dude, you might be able to buy a second house with it.
Yeah, no kidding. Isn't that crazy? It's absolutely wild. We've talked about this on and off before, whether it was the Xbox or the PS5 or whatever, but this really seems to be the first generation and consoles that have been out for such a long time that they don't get cheaper. They just go up the ladder in cost, and I don't know. And then we'll get into some really heavier stuff here with some game announcements, whatever. But looking at the surface aside on that Microsoft price increase, I mean, come on, now we're we laughed about the Steam machine, but now we're starting to scratch the door of that with these.
Well, and Rich, I can confirm that GameStop raised the prices of used PS5s, but I can't find anything. I haven't found anything about more price increases. But I know that for a fact because I went to trade in some stuff to get a PS5, and I ended up just getting a new one because it was not that much different between getting a new one and getting a used one.
Yeah, and I think because you said it was like a matter of a weekend, it went what? It
went up like $60.
Yeah, it's crazy, absolutely crazy. But no, so I mean that's the landscape we have in front of us right now. Look, we have an $1,100 Steam machine that's supposed to be a console competitor announced, and now you have further price increases on Microsoft products. Likely more for Sony, at least as you mentioned, third-party stuff is dishing out the used ones.
Or what it was Sony announced that, or not announced, but it's not realistic for us to absorb all component cost increases. They say they won't sell hardware at a significant loss as concern grows over PS6 price.
And it's wild. So I thought about this. You guys remember when the PS3 was released and they took a significant loss on hardware? They were the ones eating it, not the consumer. Mm-hmm. Or at least so they said anyway.
Right.
But let's pretend that was true. It's just kind of odd. Fast forward all this time, hey, you know what? Nah, you're just the consumer. We'll just kick the cost back down to you.
Well, and remember if I remember correctly, didn't the original PS3 launch at like $600 too?
Yeah, it was a high dollar item, and it was crazy too because I mean at the time, and it was not only that, but the Xbox release at the time too. They're both high-powered machines at such a good price at the time that heck, the military and big organizations like ESPN. Do you guys remember this? Where they were using those items to test and run stuff?
Yeah, they built a supercomputer, the Condor cluster, the Air Force had a bunch of PS3s, and they called it the Condor cluster, and they used that for years as a supercomputer. But the PS3 launched at 600. The Xbox 360 launched. It had two price points: at 300 without a hard drive, and then it had, and it came with a wired controller, and then it had the premium edition, which was $400. It came with a hard drive and a wireless controller. But yeah, you're right. The PS3, because of the architecture, the cell processor that it had was unlike anything else that was on the market at the time. And yeah, people were buying them and using it, like buying them in bulk and using them as supercomputers. It's insane.
Yeah, it just made me think about that, and these price increases of the current generation where we're at, and I'd kind of thought about that. I knew they were a higher dollar then, but it was almost like there's rationale,
right?
What you just said, using them for the supercomputer. Like I said, heck, the military was using them. Like, it's just wild, to see where we're at with it now. But I digress. Look, we know that these hardware prices don't seem to be calming down anytime soon. And kind of in the same vein, there's obviously the meme game of a good old Grand Theft Auto 6. Is it ever going to be released, or we're going to elect 10 presidents before it gets released? Whatever. I know you guys are very familiar with where that's all gone, but. All right, let's spill the beans here. Where are we at with this recent announcement?
Well, you can look at it one of two ways. It's digital only, which is good for the company because then you don't have to worry about leaks, and you completely control your market. You don't have to worry about a secondhand market developing, and you have full control over your game. Whereas when it gets put onto a disc and you can release it, it can get out early, people can get copies of it. There becomes the secondhand market where people can buy it and you get zero cut of it. So it's all good for the company. Where my questions with it come from, like I said, we all know that I'm a physical guy. Between that and then, what do you guys think of the launching a base edition at $80 and then having stuff be locked behind a $20 paywall for the ultimate edition, where there's additional missions and vehicles and weapons and whatnot locked behind that extra 20? Do you view that as built-in DLC, or do you view that as we're going to squeeze every penny we can out of these fuckers?
Now, you said before, maybe not on podcast, that you've never actually played a Grand Theft Auto game.
No. I've played them.
Okay.
I haven't played Grand Theft Auto 5. I've played GTA 3, Vice City. I played like 10 minutes of 4. But I've never.
Now, one of the reasons why it's digital only is because it's going to be bigger than can fit on one Blu-ray disc. So they either have to release multiple discs for the game, or one disc would be like an installed disc, I guess. I think they may have did that with 5 when it came out on the PS4, but I don't remember. But this goes back to the game that's on the disc a lot of times isn't the game that it becomes when you play it. Because all these games now have day one updates and stuff like that. So I'm not around the whole physical thing because games are more ephemeral now anyway. But when you look at the price, Nintendo already raised their prices to, was it $70 is their starting point now? GTA 6 has been in development for 13 years. Now, they are making money hand over fist with Grand Theft Auto online. I think they said they're making like $1 million a day or something like that. So they're getting all of their money that way. But again, 13 years of development cost is a lot of money. And when you're talking about a Grand Theft Auto game, you're not talking about a game that's going to be even like when I play the Persona games, they're 100-hour RPGs. You're going to get more than 100 hours out of a Grand Theft Auto game. So let's say you got 80 hours out of it. That's $1 an hour that you're paying. So I think the price isn't unreasonable for what you're getting out of it, even with the DLC, or not the DLC, but the locked features. They're going to sell more of the $100 version than they are the $80 version anyway. And there's going to be more stuff released as it comes out. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. It's going to be the biggest game ever, no matter what. Like they could have charged $100 flat, and it still would be the biggest release of all time. So it'll be interesting to see, what it finally is.
Yeah, you're right, Rich, and that's kind of where I guess my thinking was. You were exactly right as far as the biggest release. Look, we might, either be or big or not fans of the GTA stuff, but it's like on another planet for gaming. Like has such a massive fan base at this point that even almost supersedes just gaming itself. It's like you can bring in those fringe gamers, and it's like wrestling to me. You have your core audience, but then it's WrestleMania or Madden.
Madden, yeah.
You're just gonna have like all these different people on the outside that play it. The thing with the GTA thing that kind of, good. You're right. We talked about this before. Physical release. Hey, what you get on the disc? Hey, I've got 50 gigs on the disc, and then I've got another 120 gigs to download before install, whatever. But the fact that there is absolutely nothing physical there is a little bit of a concern, especially at that price point. And I only say that because look at the recent announcements of, Sony themselves scrubbing out a whole library of films that, look, we can get into the conversation too about, people thought they owned digitally, but they really didn't own it. They just owned a license to watch it. And that's my fear with gaming is it's going to go that way. It's like, hey, I've got these digital games. Well, you know what? We lost some licensing with this publisher, blah, blah, blah. I'm not ever saying that's going to happen with Rockstar, but let's pretend it did. I've sunk all this money into a game that I don't have anything other than a case for, and now I can't play it because, powers that be said, goodbye.
Well, and that's the thing. Rockstar themselves have a history of releasing games on multiple discs. Red Dead Redemption 2 for the PS4 came on multiple discs. It's not them, but Baldur's Gate 3, when that came out, I believe it was on 3 or 4 discs for Xbox. Because I don't think it got a physical release on PlayStation. But I don't know, man. It's just, I have a hard time paying that much. Now, granted, if you add up all the money I spent on Destiny 2 over the years, I probably spent over $100 on it. And that's a digital, it started as a disc-based game, but what it ended up by this point now is far from what the vanilla Destiny 2 experience was, obviously. So, it's not that I'm completely against digital. I just would like to have some kind of agency over the what I'm paying for, rather than it's all completely out of my hands. Even if it's just, as much as I hate game key cards, I'd much rather buy a game key card than just a digital game.
It's kind of funny where we goofed years ago on, Tommy Tallarico's Amico and how that ended up because, there was nothing physical whatsoever. You had this weird ecosystem developing. And you fast forward to now. Look, we've never said any nice words about that guy ever, and I don't intend to. However, he may have been onto something.
Yeah, shit. At this point, I would pay for an RF card of GTA 6 instead of just a box of with a code in it.
It just, I don't know. It's funny.
He's related to Steven Tyler somehow.
Is he?
Yeah. I think they're
Well,
cousins.
that's funny because when Tom said Tommy Tallarico, it in the closed caption it said Tommy Tyler Rico.
Steven Tyler's real last name is Tallarico.
Ah,
He's one of us.
makes sense.
But yeah, no, and getting back to the $100 cost, I mean, yeah, and it's going to be one of those games that, look, that's a microtransaction feast right there, especially for any online stuff with that game. So, we'll sit here and say, oh yeah, $100. What? Dan, there's be people pumping in like 1,000, 2,000, 5,000. You know how it is. I mean,
It's being released without the multiplayer too. Like the multiplayer isn't done yet, so when it comes out, it's going to be single player only digital.
Right, and they're releasing a subscription service alongside it called Grand Theft Auto Plus.
how many
No,
tiers?
I'm
I
serious.
know you are, but just I got to thinking about them. Like, okay, then what tiers am I going to get? Is there plus bronze, plus silver, plus gold, plus platinum?
You get Shark Cash. Isn't that what they call their credit cards?
Shark cards, yeah.
But this is not that this is a precedent by any stretch. I mean, I think we've gone down this road or started to for quite some time. I think it's just because it's such a massive title. It's like, ooh, it does kind of.
The PlayStation doesn't even come with a disk drive anymore, unless you pay extra for it. So
Yeah, you got to pay $80 to for the PlayStation Pro to have a hard drive on it. So by the time you
disk
buy
drive.
the disk drive, sorry. By the time you pay the $900 for the PlayStation Pro, and then you throw an $80 hard drive, you're almost at where you're at with the Steam machine. But you get a controller and 2 terabytes of storage. And it runs better than a Steam machine. It's more powerful.
But yeah, the thing to me though, with this being such a big title, it, like I said, not that it's precedent setting necessarily, but look at these titles forthcoming from other publishers that have been in the works for a long time, and I specifically think about Elder Scrolls 6 on that. Now I can automatically make that assumption that that's going to be the same way. There's not going to be a physical, and a couple of these other titles looking forward that have been in development for a long time. I'm going to assume that that's going to be, the MO from here on out.
I want to go back to the Steam, not the Steam box, but Steam itself. Like I just started playing Papers, Please again. And I think I bootlegged it the first time when it first came out. So I grabbed it off of Steam, and it was like less than $5. And during their sale going on right now, I also grabbed The Witcher 3, which I've never played, and that was also under $5 for The Witcher 3 and all of its DLC. I think it was like $10, something like that. I'm like, so people who have Steam are known to have these huge Steam libraries because the games go on sale so frequently for so cheap that it's easy to build this backlog of games. So, like, I don't expect new games to be that cheap, but if we go this all digital route and they want to compete, not that the Steam Deck's going to get any ground right now with the price they're asking, but if Steam does catch on with their stuff, you're going to see the PlayStation Store and the Xbox Store start doing sales too. And I think we might see older stuff go down while the newer stuff does, get that premium.
Well, they do from time to time. Like I've bought, that's the price point, $20 and below is where I live with my digital stuff. Like I bought a college football for $10 because I'm willing to pay $10 for a digital version of college football because it's much better than paying $60, $70 for it, even if it's physical. especially because I normally get a couple years out of each one of them. I don't have to have the most up to date college. Now Madden, yes, I buy Madden when I have been into Madden. I've bought it every year, which arguably is, should just be DLC. But that's a whole nother argument for a whole nother podcast.
You
But
guys can do that one without me.
Yeah. But no, that's where I like, even with AAA games and stuff. Like I bought one of the Witcher games. I got it for $5. I got it on Xbox 360, I think. I think it was Witcher 2 or Witcher 3. I don't remember which one. I don't remember which Witcher, which is which. That was terrible.
Which
bad,
one?
and I feel bad.
I've never watched the movies or the series rather, but I watched a movie they just put out recently with my mom. They got bad reviews, but not knowing the series, I enjoyed the movie. It was like Dolph Lundgren was in it, and it was really good. It was on Netflix for free.
Huh.
Yeah, well, not for free. You pay for Netflix, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I like Dolph.
Who doesn't? He-Man.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Going back to something I'd said earlier, and I'm curious because it's kind of hand in hand with at least what Sony's been doing. So big announcement they did. Apparently, they lost out, or they're scrubbing. Now I say scrubbing, they're removing a bunch of movies from their service, I guess, right?
See, they've done that a couple times now, though, and I don't know who's buying. Like, even before they started scrubbing stuff, who's using the weird? I think was Community the last season of that released on that one of them. They had like weird shit released on their online. Like, it was only part of the PlayStation Store, and it's just like a weird platform that some kind of exotic thing.
Yeah, it has to do with 551 previously released movies and TV shows are going to be gone from. Looks like digital libraries more overseas, United Kingdom and Europe, mainly because a loss of a distributorship license with Studio Canal. But that's the thing, though. It's like, if we can't buy. And we'll talk. We'll kind of frame away from gaming for a second. But if you can't buy a digital copy of a movie, or excuse me, you can't buy a physical copy of a movie, and you have to buy a digital copy, if you will, but you're not really buying the digital copy. You're buying a license to watch said movie. That's not right. They at least give me the option to purchase
at
the
this
DVD
point
or whatever
in history or whatever you want to call it. If you can't stream it on any one of the numerous streaming things, then they're just telling you that it's okay to pirate it.
Pirate. Yep. That's where I was gonna go, because
you get your Flex server or your Jellyfin or whatever, and you download it on there.
That's where I was gonna go. Years and years and years ago, I was very heavy into it. Obviously times have changed, and things are at your fingertips because of the streaming services. I don't have to worry about doing it anymore. Well, you know what? Now you're kind of making me worry about it again. So, it's
like I used to download music all the time, but now I have a subscription to both Apple and whatever YouTube premium thing is. So if I need music, if it's not on Apple, it's going to be on YouTube, and the music's just there. So I don't have to worry about pirating it anymore.
Right, but and then that's
when I want to buy physical, I go really old school and buy it on vinyl.
Yeah, yep. Yeah. I'm there with you, and that's the kind of the scary thing though too. Even with the digital services, I've noticed this. I'm big on YouTube Music and I have for years, but I listen to a lot of obscure things, and you'll find something, and it's like, oh, all of a sudden it's gone. It's like, oh crap, maybe they realized I was the only person listening to it. We're just gonna remove it. And I could turn around and go try to find like a CD or whatever, but it's like now it's like, okay, that's the other side of it. It's like now you're just making it harder on me.
Right, because honestly, I mean, I know my car doesn't have a CD player. I don't own a CD player. I have a CD drive that I can hook up to my computer, but that's it.
Yeah, same here. I'd have to go get the It's in my basement in a drawer. I'd have to get it out of the drawer, plug it into the USB. First, I have to plug it into a USB A to USB-C adapter, and then rip the disc. So it's even harder than that. They've made, this is a whole other episode, but pirating's gotten so easy now where all you really have to do, I have a $5 subscription to a news group server, and then you install this software where you tell it what series you want to watch, and it automatically downloads them from the news group server as the episodes appear, and then your Plex server picks it up and it looks just like Netflix when you fire it up on the things.
That's cool. We're gonna have to one of these days, Rich. I'm gonna have to pick your brain off pod.
I wanted to move the Jellyfin because Plex is starting to get a little weird with their like pricing and stuff like that. But Jellyfin doesn't have an Apple TV client, a native Apple TV client. There's some paid ones. Plex just works, so just like use that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's and I think that's why this conversation kind of wraps itself so nicely is because of the digitization of all the media. And I think it's really funny because Bobby brought it up, many, many years ago now when we were recording about the whole, physical media thing. And, it's, I don't know. We're in that weird time again where now it's like, okay, do I buy the digital copy or do I buy the physical copy? And now we're in a weird time again because things have rapidly changed. It's like, well, now I'm not even have that option. And obviously GTA is kind of it's not anything new, but now I think that really brings it to the forefront again, especially in light of those recent announcements of the Sony library ditching 500 plus movies and TV shows, whatever. But I don't know, weird times. That brings up another conversation or another question that I was going to have. It was on top of my mind. I think we've talked about this before with the streaming services and movies. Not so much music. I haven't noticed too much with this. More movies and TV shows. But things being edited. It happens. I've seen it. Wrestling obviously was one of the big ones up front, and I think everything else has decided to borrow from the old wrestling world on this.
Well, what happens is these, especially when you talk about older shows, I know, for example, Scrubs, and I think I've used this example before. There's been episodes when I've watched on streaming that they lost the rights, or not that they lost the rights, but they didn't have anything in place at the time because streaming wasn't a thing when the show started. And then it found its way to streaming services and they had to replace songs. Another famous one is Supernatural. And even with Supernatural, I believe on some of the DVD sets, they had to dub over the actual iconic songs with just generic music, kind of like wrestling, because they didn't have the streaming rights or they didn't have the rights for home video or whatever after so long. So it's a big thing, especially on shows like that, like Scrubs and like Supernatural, where the music in certain scenes is so integral to it that taking it out is almost like removing a character from the scene.
Right. No, and I felt that for a long time with wrestling. The music sometimes just makes you tell me trying to watch a New Jack match without, Natural Born Killers playing. I'm just kidding. But no, but you know what I mean, though? Like, it's like watching.
Did ECW ever have the rights to Enter Sandman? Probably
no,
not.
I don't think they have rights to anything. No. But that's the thing, though. It's like we all kind of grew up with that. So, I mean, but no, that's the hard part, though, is, you have shows like The Simpsons or something's been on forever. You're going to run into issues like that at some point. There's going to be a music issue. There's going to be something that does not agree with whatever platform it's on to whatever, at some point, somebody's not going to be willing to pay for XYZ.
How about Sonic 3? Not the movie, the game. because the game has stopped being re-released, and the last time it was re-released, they had to change some of the music because apparently Michael Jackson had collaborated to make the music, and they lost the rights to it. So they've at this point they've stopped putting it in collections, but they had actually been replacing music in it and like repeating music from other levels to cover the music that had to be taken out.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, well, look, let's circle right back on down to GTA. You guys have played enough. I know, Bob, maybe not you, but you played enough maybe early on. GTA was known for that. That was actually one of the really fun early aspects.
It was a radio station.
Yeah, exactly.
I built like the soundtracks for all the radio for GTA 3 and Vice City, I think. Yeah.
So that makes me question: are we going to get like a whole Taylor Swift station in GTA 6? Like,
God willing.
What are we going to get? I can't wait to go.
What's his name? Pitbull.
I think Taylor Swift's music's okay. I like Sabrina Carpenter better by her looks, but her music's horrible. So that's one of the ones where you turn off the sound while you're listening to or watching the video, rather. And then Olivia Rodrigo is the best of both worlds.
Rich is going to be
that's my
mowing down some gangsters in GTA 6 while listening to Olivia Rodrigo.
I was doing some coding today, and I was listening to a DMX Essentials list on Apple's Music. It's good coding music.
So, works for me.
The closed captioning might have revealed something. It says Richard's going to be mowing down some gangsters and GTA 6.
Yeah, I was looking at to see if there really hasn't been a whole lot of release on
Speaking of sex.
on the music for GTA 6, just trailer stuff.
So can we go back to? I'm just been thinking about the whole Steam box thing, and I think Steam shit the bed, not with the price, but this was the perfect time to release. Maybe we talked about this before. Forgive me, I'm a little drunk. But Half-Life 2 Episode 3 or Half-Life 3. If you released either of them with the Steam box and gave it to you along with it, or the whole idea that people thought of the Steam box was to get more people to buy into the Steam ecosystem too. So if the Steam box is, I forget what the price they're charging is, let's say $1,100, I forget what it was, but you get like $200 of Steam credit with it, then that would be, they would offcut something. But they haven't seemed to want to do either of them. So Half-Life 3 is never coming out. Episode 3, I was just thinking about that too, because I just started, like I said, I fired up Steam to play the other things. So I'm like, oh, I have the orange box in here. People still play Team Fortress. That's interesting. Yeah.
I have the orange box on my Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Half-Life stuff, man, that stuff will never die. And I actually saw a cool post on Facebook yesterday about someone that had a mini old Windows laptop, and I can't remember what it was. It was like an old Toshiba or something, but and it ran some variant of Windows 95, and it showed them installing Half-Life, and it was like, oh man, like
with the last time something took this long, I don't even remember how long it took, but the last big meme vaporware was Duke Nukem Forever. And when that finally came out, it sucked.
Oh, God, it was so bad.
But when GTA 6 comes out, it's going to be fantastic. I mean, there's no way it's not going to be.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
And if Half-Life 3 ever comes out, it's also going to be really good. So it's never going to come out. I don't think Half-Life, we're never going to see another Half-Life game.
My thing with GTA 6 is that I get so far into those games, like the GTA stuff, especially but then like halfway through, I'll stop doing missions, and I'm like, I just want to drive around.
It's been a while since I finished one, but I've played them all. So yeah.
Yeah, I just want to drive around and like check stuff out and see like
San Andreas. I got my character to look exactly like he was in Demolition Man, Wesley Snipes. I got my character to look like Wesley Snipes, and then I'm like, well, I'm done. This is all I needed. That was the one where like you could eat too much junk food and you get fat. There was like a whole. But I didn't like any of the Red Dead games, but the GTA games are just awesome.
I'll do the Red Dead games. So like, again, I played halfway through missions, whatever. And the thing that cracked me up about the Red Dead games was I wanted to play it like GTA, where I'd go explore once in a while, just wander around completely off missions because, nice open world, which Red Dead's a really pretty game. I mean, it's gorgeous. Both of them are just really, really nice universes. I got into the saloons and would just play like the dice games, like Liar's Dice. Like that's all I would do. Like I would find myself just going, I'm like, I could play this as like a 99-cent mobile app.
Yeah.
But like I would find myself like, oh, this is what I'm gonna do tonight. I'm gonna go in here and play cards with the guys. Like
there were too many systems in Red Dead 2. It's like I get on the horse and I gotta do these 5 other things, and oh, I hit the wrong button. I killed this guy and this horse, and now everyone's after me.
Yeah, I did that so many times. I'm like, oh no, I shot the wrong guy. Oops.
Rage quit. Yeah, like I'm done.
Yeah.
They got a Warriors game though. That was really like Warriors the movie. Rockstar did. That was fantastic.
That was on PS2, right?
It was on like everything, but yeah. I played it on PSP, so I had the best experience.
Nice. Now I got Red Dead Redemption. I got for like $10, I think. Red Dead Redemption 2, I got for like $10 on $10 or $15 on PS5, and I bought it because I watched a bunch of people on TikTok go fight clan members, and I just really wanted to go beat up clansmen, and then I never ended up playing it, so it's still sitting in my backlog.
The again, my thing, and this just kind of is in general with games, I get so excited, and Bob knows I finally got Starfield. I played it for several hours, but again, like I get part of the way through, and I'm like, I just haven't gotten back to it. It sucks. It's like, but I do the same thing with the GTA stuff, Red Dead. The only one for me that I go back to and keep playing over and over and over, Skyrim. So and the Fallout stuff. But I kind of curious to see where they go with the potential new release of the Fallout stuff, I should say.
You know what'll hook you playing Starfield is you got to do the mission where you're infiltrating the pirates.
Oh, dude, I'm totally hooked on that game. I just timing's been a problem lately, but it's so pretty. I just kind of want to walk around, or fly my spaceship to another planet. Like, I play it like the same way I play GTA so far. It's like I just want to drive around, get halfway through the missions, and like I just want to go check out the Hollywood sign.
I've never really gotten into the shipbuilding, but I do kind of want to build the Eagle 5 from Spaceballs.
Yeah, that is a deep game, like to no end. Like my God, like they've got that, like I don't know, it's crazy. There's all sorts. You're gonna talk about different systems and things that you got to do and pay attention to, and your ally, your alliances, your allies, and making sure you don't piss off the wrong person.
Is that a Bethesda game?
It is.
It's deep. My God, it's fun, and it's just pretty. It's beautiful. I mean, it's hard for Bethesda not to be. It's just the way they do things.
That's how I feel about Star Fox. I know Star Fox for the Switch 2 is just Star Fox 64 again for the third time, but they made it look really pretty. Like, okay, I'll spend $60 on this to play it again.
You know what, the Legend of Zelda games, the Breath of the Wild, and you can't tell me you walk around that and you're like, whoa, they're just gorgeous games. Even on the original Switch, I mean, they're just gorgeous. I don't know. Maybe that's just getting older. You're like, ooh, this is just pretty. I just want to walk around. That's why I die so many times. I don't know. Was there any other news, video game wise, that we didn't cover?
We didn't talk about the suit, the Ram suit.
Oh yeah. Drop into that real quick.
Yeah. So apparently, Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron are being sued for the second time for price gouging and price fixing, and this is the second time it's happened. They got sued in the late 90s, early 2000s for the same thing, and Micron escaped unharmed because they turned state's evidence and helped bring down Samsung and Hynix. So we'll see what happens this time around. But yeah, there's a lawsuit against them for price fixing and gouging.
I don't think it's price fixing. From what I understand, what's going on is they've already signed contracts with people that are doing data centers and AI building. So all of the available RAM is going to commercial industries and not to consumer. So that's where the consumers are fucked because there's nothing available for us. Everything's higher in price. So I don't know if that's necessarily price fixing as it's just the way capitalism works in 2026.
Yeah, it's definitely it crushes, the base consumer who's looking for console, laptop, whatever. I mean, you're going to end up paying a premium for, something that quite honestly shouldn't cost half of what it, even half is a stretch. I mean, like we all know what some of this stuff costs in volume. It's ridiculous. We just,
It was so cheap for such a long time too. And
Yeah.
the fact that it's expensive now, it's just like, oh,
and it's funny too, because you go back 30 years and it was the processors. That's what they got you. I remember my parents, the first Pentium, first computer they had that had Pentium in it, it was $4,000. It was just crazy, and that was 30 years ago money. So, I look at that and I'm like, hey, maybe things aren't so different, whatever. But now things are just in such mass volume that, to me, I look at it like I'm looking at a television. I can go anywhere right now and buy myself a flat 50-inch television. Maybe it's not a name brand, under $200. I mean, right? Why am I having to pay $1,000 for a console? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Well, anything to wrap us up with? Anyone at all?
Bueller.
nothing that won't get censored.